overpass where Hypnotic managed to snatch away that first map against the favourites. Now we head over to Dust 2. It's, well, I thought this would be CX's turf, but perhaps not. Nonetheless, Hypnotic starting off on this T side. As they head over towards mid, that Xbox smoke in play gives them an opportunity to get back up to short and make something happen on A.
Hypnotic slowly shifting up short now, and they've got utility for this A push. They've got the molly on Exil, they've got the smoke and flashes on Earl. They are ready for contact. Unfortunately for CEX, they're a bit slow to bring this player out from CT, so we'll have to see how Hoy fares. Impact, he'll spot the smoke go down. Flashes go on out, and the push comes through. Impact, how does he fare? As the players run into him, he'll spot Gizmy. He's trying to do a bit of early damage, unable to do so, though, as the plant comes out. And, well, we'll have to see what the response is from here, as Gizmy, it's messy, but eventually we'll see Hoy get dinked on up. Impact is able to take down a player, but the trades go either way. Impact, actually, by some miracle, stays alive. Earl, they're straight onto Hoy. He goes to a 3 versus 2 now as Hypnotic find themselves with a molly in this afterplant scenario.
Well, this molly really does change this one a little bit, but perhaps not. They have no opportunity to deploy it whatsoever. That's unfortunate. Actually, I found going for that defuse as well, despite the fact that ZNX has that kit. That really does just show how much time they actually have left on this bomb. And, I mean, yeah, it's a decent retake from CEX. It was incredibly messy. Impact whiffed a hell of a lot of shots. I'm really surprised that it took Hypnotic as long as they did to actually take him out. But found himself 3 kills, and that's that. It's pretty much turned the tides and turned the round in CEX's favour. Now they lead by 1. It is going to be the force buy from Hypnotic, though. Remember, they got that bomb down. So they do have the cash to actually go for these AKs in the second.
Yeah, the swing goes wide on long. Contestation comes through. Wolfie able to exchange blows, and Wolfie able to make it a man advantage. It will fall down to Hoy now to try and even out the scoreline, to try and settle the score, so to say. But it gives me... He's there to switch out the AK. Able to run away, and Hoy, fortunately, can't quite challenge. We'll have to see if he continues this push. See if he continues to try and aggress. Unfortunately, the timing is perfect for him. To spot that player running away, he goes to the trigger discipline, able to shut down Gizmy. And knowing the players are rotating as well, that is going to bait CX into this rotation. Zendex making his way down towards mid. Putting Impact, the man who has to hold.
Spotted out the players here as well. That flash is pretty perfect. Does blind him for a second or two, but just buys enough time for his teammates to rotate over. And there we go. It's a complete shutdown. As soon as ZNX turns up to the party, there's nothing more Hypnotic can do. After those opening picks that they found, I really had a lot of faith for them there. But yeah, just perfectly played. Nice bit of coordinated aggression there from Hoy. Get up long, even out those numbers once again, bring it back into a 3-on-3, and Hypnotic now push right down to the eco. Can't afford to bring anything into this one, just 2 deagles to work with as they head over towards mid and long. And it's just damage right now. That's what they're looking for. Oh, cheeky console.
Absolutely. Yep, it's going to leak the IP to everyone. As Hypnotic now making their way down in towards mid. Zenex will spot all of them. He's here to farm Sneeko frags. Line up, there you go, and whoa, that's a swift way to end a round. By some miracle, actually, he loses on 2 of the kills, but it does not matter. CEX by a landslide find their 3rd round, and this is where it matters. This is where we see Hypnotic's first buy round. Let's see if this ends up being a one-sided game, or Hypnotic are going to spend the whole time snapping at CEX's heels, or better still, overtaking them.
I'd be tilted, you know, if I was ZNX. Looked like an ace, but it wasn't. He got 3 kills.
It looked like an ace, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's perfect, and just, well, it's like, again, like vultures to a carcass. You can't keep them away, and as his teammates descended on those eco frags, he had to settle for 3.
It literally is, yeah. As soon as your opponents run an eco round, it's eco frags, and you just charge, push in for any kills you can find. Hypnotic now, as you say, they are onto this buy. Gizmy, a little bit late to invest. There we go. Last second, does pull himself out an AK. The full utility. They've got that AWP on Comsy to work with too. And he's actually going to head towards B early. Try and see if he can get some kind of pick. Any kind of aggression towards the lower tunnels. We did actually see it last round from ZNX. We won't see it again. Instead, catwalk control. This is really interesting. I like this from CEX.
Absolutely, they're slowly making their way on forward decks. They're going to be ready to try and fight Wolfie, but Wolfie swift to send him to an early grave. Trade is there, though, from Hoy, and with only 19 HP remaining, it's down to Wolfie to hold from T-Spawn. He's able to tap down ZNX, and with Hoy's location known, he'll be able to finish the job, making it his 3rd of the round now, on for the ace. as he does still have iFan and Impact to worry about. However, neither of which are near each other nor near the bomb.
There's still plenty of time on the clock, though. That's really the thing for Hypnotic right now. They have got a whole minute to work with as they head over towards long. iFan, a hell of a task on his hands to actually hold this one up. He now has the information. Hasn't heard the steps, so it will only be knowledge that there's one, now two players there. But should be expecting all three. And there we go. Jumps up over the smoke, spots out the first, gets the kill. Now a 2-on-2. And this is where it starts to get dangerous. Earl absolutely has to trade this one before they can try and get this C4 down. And it's not going to happen. Exley drops. And that's a beautiful hold up from CEX there. And in fact, it's all iFan. It's the iFan show on the A site.
Absolutely. That was a wonderful round by iFan and Co. The little 1-2 exchange. The fact he had the bait set up ready was their next mate. That round all the easier. 4-0 the scoreline for Hypnotic. Their money, their economy, it's definitely seen better days. We only see an AK come out on Gizme with pistols to support the odd few flashes to try and get an early long control through, but instantly shut down by iFan. The trade is there, but Hoy, he's there to finish the job for the assistance of Dexter. The 1-2 comes through, the exchange goes out, the conversion's found, and for CEX, that's going to be a fifth.
Yeah, it's the eco frags again. So everybody just converging on long, completely mowing down that attack. CEX now onto 5. And Hypnotic, well, it's going to be another investment from them. Gizme, unfortunately, is demoted down to that Desert Eagle. So certainly a little bit of a contingency there. This engagement, it's not quite going to come through. ZNX just deploys that incendiary, falls away instead. And Earl, he has easy passage right up to short. Just needs to be careful, because if he overextends here, Dexter's certainly going to punish him for it.
Absolutely, Dexter sat back at the ready, with Impact ready to aggress on long as well. The smoke does mean he can tease a push towards blue, clearing it as swiftly as possible. He does have Earl to worry about, and I think he's wary of the presence towards long, especially after Hoy was able to push so freely before. Let's see who else is able to fight there. For Hypnotic, it's going to be the short push to go on through. Gizme, with only a deagle in hand, has to lead this charge with no armor either, so he's going to be torn apart by either the spray down of Hoy or the utility that could rain hellfire down onto the Hypnotic side.
Dexter, as the smokes are deployed, has to deploy his incendiary, connects that first shot, now needs to reposition, and the further away you get, the harder these shots come to connect, because only the heads are poking over, but it seems like Hoy's not even needed in this scenario. His sole job is to deny the plant, and he does so beautifully. Konzi left on his lonesome, and there's nothing more he can do here, even missing that shot. Position now known, and he will be attacked from all angles. It's ZNX to finish things off, and CEX, they are looking like monsters here on Dust 2. They take a 6-0 lead, and then showing no signs of slowing down.
An incredible start for CEX. This is exactly what we saw from Hypnotic. The question is, though, can they keep it up? You know, keeping up. Many men struggle with this difficulty, and let's see if CEX is one of them. I suspect, that they won't, but there's always going to be doubt.
Well, this could be Hypnotic sticking back in. They found themselves a nice opener towards mid, and, well, all of a sudden, B's just fallen apart. Impact, there's nothing he can do in that scenario. Now they're smoked off, have to try and get back into this one. Hoy, nice bit of initiative to boost over the smoke. Won't spot out Gizme. He's in this hard corner, and considering they've found that opening man, like close up to CT, they certainly won't be expecting him there either. Of course, the B site on Dust 2. I'd count it as the hardest site to retake in Counter-Strike, and I think many others would too. So no opportunity for them to get back into this one, especially with a man disadvantage. So it is just going to be the save call, and it's definitely the right call to make.
Yeah, without a doubt. And looking at CEX now, even though they back away, they are able to save their guns. They're able to make sure that the AWP doesn't fall into the hands of Hypnotic, and really, that is a victory in itself. Hypnotic, they get the round, they get the plant. However, they are still facing the very harsh reality of being resexed. They are going to have to drop for Wolfie. They're going to have to reinvest the utility and update the armor on a lot of players, so they're not out of the woods just yet.
Oh, they're definitely not out of the woods.
Yeah, that's true.
This is, still a real strong lead here for CEX. Of course, these AWPs coming out from both sides now too. There's so much money in the bank for this CT side that it's going to take multiple consecutive rounds here from Hypnotic to really break it. Nice opener from Exley there. Gets rid of ZNX. Unfortunately, he's actually flashed from his teammates there. Nonetheless, a lot of control taken here from Hypnotic. Mid actually goes completely uncontested, and Gizmy right now, he could do some serious damage. Oh, maybe not.
Cast his curse, and instead it's Hoy to go on a rampage. He finds the first two. He's got more to worry about. That up towards top mid is going to have to go huge in the form of Exley, especially with Earl falling, leaving Exley and Wolfie, last two members left standing. And unfortunately for them, they do have 4 players of the CeX side snarling and ready with a bomb at their feet.
Excellent. He's got the angle, but he's being spat away from elsewhere. IFAN desperate to try and find this one. His teammate there for support, but Wolfie cannot do anything as Impact swings. And that is going to be round number 7, or in fact round number 8 over and done with. 7-1 here for CeX. And Hypnotic, they're back down to kind of this really difficult scenario where they don't have a lot of cash. Every single man sitting at that sort of 3,700 mark. And you've got this real dilemma on, do we buy or do we eco here? Do we kind of go for a half buy? Is sort of the latter. 2 players investing in those AKs, few Mac 10s come out. Everybody should have enough to invest into the next considering the loss bonus, except for Exley. So he really does need to find a couple of kills here.
Here comes that B rush. Impact is good for 2. Wolfie there to trade, and well, Zed next. He'll be able to find that nade kill, and with Konzi on the flank, he's got to try and catch out at least one of these members. But for CeX, knowing that Konzi isn't there, they just rush Grimsy, and with that kill, that puts Konzi in such a difficult scenario moving forward, where he has to try and get onto this site without any flashes into the waiting crosshairs of both ZNX and IFAN.
Yeah, there's really no way for him back into this one. He smoked off, as we say, this B site, the hardest site to retake here in Counter-Strike, especially when, well, you're on the wrong side of it. Konzi, his position's known. It was really well played from CeX as soon as they knew that he was in mid to just flash over, bombard that player on the bomb side. Even if you trade 1-for-1, it's not a problem. And there you go. That timing, just impeccable. And CeX, they're able to take it to 8.
Yeah, this is really looking one-sided at this point. 8-1 the scoreline, and for Hypnotic, they go down to another buy, that being some AKs. A scout on XD as they buy down to 0 on a lot of their members. And tell you what, your prediction of this being Hypnotic taking over past and CeX taking the series, it looks like it could be correct.
It's because I'm a genius, Grant. Counter-Strike genius.
I may have underestimated you. I didn't realize I was in the midst of a certifiable genius, but here we are. Let's see how they fare. And I tell you what, with your kind of supreme intellect, do you want to tell me what the score will be on this map?
Well, the score will be on this map. It's going to be 16-6 to CeX, Kremer. That's what it's going to be. And
Hypnotic getting another 5 rounds?
Yeah, they're going to take 2 before the end of this half, and then they're going to take 3 in the second half, and then it will go 16-6. Mark my words.
I realise if this is right, I'm never going to hear the end of it.
So they pay me the big bucks. So, yeah.
Without through the scoreline.
Oh. I can. I have just a greater knowledge. I can just see what's going on, top down.
This every bit of knowledge you've ever had, that is literally every bit of knowledge, every person you've met. This is all your dream, essentially. You've lived out every reality and you've seen this game.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Is that too complicated for you?
Well, no, I'm just in awe, frankly. I tell you what, I'm also in awe of the aim of Wolfie, because my god, that was crisp. 3 bullets, 2 kills, and, well, Impact now finds himself scornfully alone in a 1 versus 3.
Well, yeah, it's a really, really difficult one right now for him. He is going to pick up this AK. They've got so much money to work with that he is actually going to go for this, and, well, oh, a lot of damage dealt. Exley's not actually dropped off. There we go. Does fall off, and that's to his death. That's unfortunate. Nonetheless, 2-on-1. Still plenty of time left to tick on this bomb. And Impact, he pulls out his knife. That's a huge mistake. But it doesn't matter all too much. They're still leading 8-2. And, I mean, that's just massive from Wolfie. It looks a lot easier than it really is. If you play Counter-Strike, you know that in a scenario like that, it is often very, very hard to connect. Both headshots as snappy and as quickly as that, especially these guys with crazy reactions. And yeah, you just single-handedly flips the round, takes matters into his own hands.
For now, it's going to be Hypnotic going for an early push towards long. Earl going to fall to the molly. Gives me that stake down impact. And I found a lovely little 2k there. Take a bit of damage in response, but he's got Dexter there to support. So he'll be able to shut down Wolfie. It goes to a 3 versus 3 yet again. As we'll see the push come through. Dexter, by some miracle, was still alive at the corner along there. Eventually he'll fall. Now his player's coming up short as Gizmy makes it 4k now. On for the ace, but Hoy will shut him down. 1 versus 2 now with Hoy and CT. Let's see how Konzi and Exley fare.
Well, the first 1v1 scenario we've seen this whole game, and what on earth is that? A massive whiff from Hoy. And oh my, Konzi lands a mother of all flips, and CEX, that's a round that they really should have been taking right there, and it slipped away from them.
Absolutely. Let's see what the response is really from CEX as their money is starting to, well, run a bit dry now as we see a few Deagles come out. We see them go for the eco, and for the most part, let's see how Hypnotic are able to monopolize on this poor buy of CEX.
Yeah, this should just be a complete whitewash here from Hypnotic. I mean, they should just be able to blitz into their site, ZNX. I think he thought that he might be able to get away with something a little bit cheeky there. That's not going to be the case whatsoever. I found with 1, Hoy not going to be able to get anything. I don't think iPhone will be allowed a whole lot more either. You see him just really, really meticulously lining up that Deagle, but from that kind of range, you know, the margin of error, it's absolutely huge. And, well, CEX are not going to be able to take it. Hypnotic, they've taken 3 rounds in a row back. For my prediction to be right, CEX need to close out every round from here on out in this half. I still think they can do it, but Hypnotic, they're definitely looking like a better side here. They seem a little bit more comfortable, they seem a little bit more warmed up, and as they head over towards B, they will only be met by 1 defender, and that is going to be Mr. Hoy.
Rush comes through. Hoy, it's his turn to rise to the mantle. Let's see how he fares. He's got the support of ZNX as they will shut down the first, and well, Hoy didn't have to do anything. ZNX finds 2. Wolfie trades on to the remaining 2, putting it to a 3v3, and with the flank ready by Exley, he's able to shut down Dexter. Should be down to iPhone now to trade, and that he does, meaning Impact has to be the one to open up this site.
Yeah, this is kind of the break-even point, isn't it? Where you do actually go for the retake, a 2v2, you've done a bit of damage, there's still plenty of time on this bomb. 2 kits available here for CEX, but it's going to be so difficult to get back in. There's still utility for Hypnotic to use and utilize too, and as Gizmy finds that opener, one-on-one situation. He doesn't know where Wolfie is, he's spinning around frantically, so many angles to clear, taps the bomb, and that's Wolfie's cue to poke out and take another head. I may not be as all-knowing as I said I was, Kramer, because I predicted this one wrong, but I'm happy I've predicted it wrong. Hypnotic, they're not just getting completely wrecked anymore. They're back into this one.
Absolutely, and that must be a scary prospect for CEX because Hypnotic, once they got the ball rolling on overpass, they were almost unstoppable up until the half switch. CEX, have they made up enough ground so far, or do we have more things due? For now, CEX, they go down to an eco for the penultimate round of this first half, and well, for CEX, fortunately, they've gamble stacked the wrong area. They go for a mass push towards lower tunnels, and with iFan fighting Konzi, that could be a nice opening. In fact, looking to cancel the plant, and it's messy, as unfortunately he can't quite do so. Gizmy, it was off camera, but he got a lovely little spray down in towards the lower to get that 3k, leaving Hypnotic with their 6th.
I mean, this is shaping up to really be an 8-7 half, which is absolutely incredible considering this was 8-1. So, Hypnotic, they really have stepped up to the plate. We did actually see this earlier on against GLO on overpass. They were, what was it, 11 to... Maybe it wasn't 11. It was like 13-8 down or something, and they pulled it all the way back, ended up taking it 16-13. They just seem to kind of have this lifeline adrenaline. As soon as it looks like it's slipping away, they can bounce right back. And right now, that's exactly what they're doing, and they're doing it beautifully.
Absolutely, and for now, there's going to be another push out towards B. This time, I found ZNX at the ready, as ZNX with this orb is able to respond in kind. ZNX on for the 3rd, making it 4k. Can he make it 5? May not have to, as Konzi is finished off by Dexter. CEX, they lead 9-6 at the end of the half, and let's see how they fare moving into the second, going to that T side of Dust 2.
Well, 9-6. Any other time, you'd say that's a pretty good half, yeah? This Dust 2, really, really even Steven sides. We're happy. We're happy with the 9-6. in this instance, CeX are not going to be happy with this 9-6. As I said before, it was 8-1. They were leading 8-1, and it slipped away from them. They just need a couple more players on Hypnotic to really step up here, and this could certainly turn on its head. And look at this, Exley. Real aggression up lower tunnels. This could certainly catch Impact off guard if he's not ready and waiting for it. But they seem to hear the steps over towards Catwalk. That's going to initiate Impact to push right through Exley with two snappy headshots. And wow.
That puts CeX in a rough scenario now. 2 players pushing on 4. They've got 4 left to worry about as the next fires 1 gives me there to trade, leaving Mr. Hoy so very alone. 10 HP left, and let's see what he can do with it as he's slowly encroaching towards the site. He comes up from behind, and he goes 9-7.
Big pistol round for Hypnotic to pick up. If CeX take it, then they can kind of pick up that momentum from where they left off and maybe just pull their way right back into this one and snatch it once again. But for Hypnotic to take it, they can close out this gap. They can maybe even make this 9-9 before CeX can really contend properly. And yeah, this is just looking great. The Glock's coming through towards long. The Incendiary's there to slow them down. And CeX, it's just about damage here. They want to try and find maybe 1 or 2 kills.
Yeah, without doubt. Conzi up close and personal. He's going to try and farm some kills. Unfortunately, he's only good for 1 before Dexter sends him to an early grave. There's going to be another 2 men sat up and ready to defend long. A little crossfire set up and ready to go. As Earl, he'll hear the players coming. The M4 rings as Gizmi tries to shut down these early members. Swing goes round as the FAMAS cleans up the remainder. Earl and Gizmi a nice little 1-2 crossfire as they bring themselves an 8th round. Only 1 round separate these 2 teams now, and for CeX, if they can't win the spy round, then they might have to start sweating.
Absolutely, yeah. This is where it starts to get a little bit spooky. If they let this one slip, Hypnotic level out the scoreline 9-9, and would actually be able to take the lead, which is just unbelievable. Scout to work with on Exley right now. Everyone else with some rifles. Conzi with that MP9. CeX, they've taken control of the B tunnels. Whether or not they actually commit to this B site's another question. Considering their current configuration, I think that they might actually just try and take this lower tunnel control, converge on mid, then make the decision from that point. And as Gizmi's dropped, Hoy's actually found that really nice opener towards short. It does give them some leg room to work with.
But now early nade in towards lower. It's a good one as I found almost full. Same for Dexter as well, who eats a leg shot with that scout. However, the man advantage is in favor of CeX. See how Hypnotic respond and see how they try to bring it back as well. He doesn't want to give up this short control, so hear the players coming for him. Ready to swing on Hoy, but Hoy is ready. And that opens up this A site completely for Hypnotic. Exley and Wolfie needs to go absolute god mode if they want to consider even having a running in this round. And for the most part, I think it's safe to assume that this may be all said and done.
Oh, actually connecting the shot with the scout, not quite the kill though, and the smoke's just gonna land on the Molotov. I don't think they'll be able to do a whole lot here. CeX, they've bounced back very, very nicely indeed. Picked up a round that they really needed to. And it will be 10-8. Save coming through for Wolfie and Exley. Unfortunately, though, they're not really saving the premium rifles. They're actually saving a FAMAS and a Scout, 2 of the weaker weapons that they had coming into this 18th. I think those M4s are in no man's land, actually completely unretrievable. So, yeah, it's a really good round from CeX.
Absolutely. That bomb goes off. That gives them a 10th. And Hypnotic, they do save this FAMAS, so it is a silver lining. But for the most part, let's see how they fare on what is going to have to be a bit of an eco around these saved guns.
Yeah, they actually can't afford to really invest here. They've got no lost runners whatsoever, so it is just going to be, yeah, full eco around these 2 weapons that are saved. Save some cash, try and buy up into the next. That's really the game plan here. See if this scout can maybe do some early damage and get aggressive. Conzi, I want to see him get a Zeus kill. I'm going to watch him until he gets a Zeus kill, Kremer. I want it.
Go on, Conzi. Oh, it looks like it might happen as well. Oi. Oh, we'll finish the job early. That is annihilation, if ever I've seen it. And unfortunately, that does leave Hypnotic with only 1 player left on a buy, that being Exley with that scout.
Yeah, all of a sudden this round's gone from, oh, there's potential, a Zeus kill, maybe a bit of aggression works out for them, to, oh, okay, yeah, there's no chance. I mean, even ZNX's position right now just makes this one absolutely impossible. Earl I want to see some big P2000 plays, and I'm going to be denied it. They're not actually going to push through the doors whatsoever. Instead, opt towards this B site where Gizmy's here with the USP, and simultaneous headshots finish off the round. CEX on to 11. Hypnotic, they're only trailing by 3, of course, but they are just getting really, really dominated in these last couple.
Absolutely. 11 to 8 the scoreline, and unfortunately for Hypnotic, CeX are in danger of running away with this if Hypnotic cannot get this round. They're going to go down to an eco, giving CeX their 12th and 13th, and from there, it can be a very, very sticky slope towards a defeat. For now, though, Hypnotic, they've got plenty of util to use. They go aggressive on long. They now push their way back down towards B. They hear the execution come out. Wolfie, how does he fare with players all around him, all ready and hungry to hunt him down? For now, Early's good for one. Boy will trade. Wolfie, he's already back sight, and this could be the ninja play that holds it for them. Unfortunately, Dexter is ready for it. It goes 3-on-3 now. The flash ready to go down through this door as a moment we might see an attempt at a retake here on the hardest bomb site to retake in the game. Fortunately though for iFan, it's going to be Hoy to get this opening kill, and for Hypnotic to back away yet again to give CeX their 12th.
And as soon as he finds it, it's just the time to cool away. Yeah, it's just the Gizmy and Conzi just say, we have no chance in this one. We're just going to fall back. We don't want anything to do with this. Conzi might actually be able to get an exit here onto Dexter, who's just completely unsuspecting. So that is going to be a nice snappy headshot. It's just unfortunate. Wolfie's position there was very strong. I thought that he did a very good job of just staying alive. When you're the B anchor like that, you really just need to not drop. So to stay alive for long enough for the rotations to come through is fantastic. But he really needed to find at least one kill in that situation, and he was just unable to. And as soon as he drops there, there's really, really not a lot of opportunity there for Hypnotic. And CeX now onto 12. They draw closer and closer to this finish line. And it will tie this one up 1-1. I mean, I'd love to see it.
Absolutely. Again, 12 to 8 scoreline, and let's see just how Hypnotic fare on what's going to be another poor buy, that being Conzi and Grimsy, the only players who have any chance moving forward with these rifles. Unfortunately, actually, he's already tried this top mid push. It's happened time and time again for Hypnotic, and yet again, it does not work out. Gives me though the delayed push might have mixed success. Unfortunately though, he is spotted. He forced to back away, and unfortunately he's going right into the awaiting arms of death, or in this case Dexter, who's going to deliver him right there. Instead, it's going to be onto Conzi, the only man with a gun left, and I think it's safe to assume at this point he's going to have to save it yet again. CeX, they're here to make it 13, and for Hypnotic, they're running out of chances.
They really are. This position from ZNX as well is fantastic. Just cuts off any chance of anybody saving that M4. Oh, flanking behind. A bit of a mistake from Conzi, and well, ZNX is going to punish you all day long. Really crispy player. One of the more experienced players on this CeX roster. In fact, probably the most experienced player on this CeX roster. And yeah, he is not going to let you get away with that one. So 13-8 now, CeX leading. This is really, really fantastic Counter-Strike from them. And Hypnotic, they're just not looking like the side that they were on Overpass, if I'm perfectly honest.
Yeah, absolutely. They just didn't quite have that momentum that we saw earlier. And, well, we can see actually a nice little opening, actually, as he takes down Impact. But for CeX, they're going to try and open up this B site yet again. Conzi, he's completely blind. He'll spam into the smoke. He's good for one. Not quite a second, as he's by some miracle able to get away. But ZNX will trade. Follow-up push comes on through, leaving just Dexter, the last man left standing, already legged down, and I think at this point he might end up falling. That being said, he's good for Grimsy. However, Exley will trade. Hypnotic make it 9, and they show a sign of life.
They absolutely do. I mean, it was a time that they really needed to step back into this. They do actually need back-to-back rounds here to break this CeX bank account, but it's not impossible. They've got this double AWP setup. Absolutely viable here on a map like Dust 2. And yeah, I mean, they're going to put one over towards A, one over towards this B bomb side with it. Absolutely love to see it. In fact, actually one on mid, one on A. So interesting stuff. Mr. Hoy does open things up quite nicely though. Gives them this opening pick. And CeX only 3 rounds away from finishing off this Dust 2 map. They draw closer and closer. It's been a fantastic game for them so far.
Absolutely. As once again we see Hypnotic with a man down. Players tagged up on either side. However, CeX do still have that man advantage. And for CeX, it looks like once again they're ready to push through onto this B site. Konzi, a very poor performance compared to Overpass, as he only goes 6 to 18. With Dexter finding actually early on as well, means that the pressure is even, well, amassing on him now. As he's ready for this B push, he's got two teammates on the other side of the map. He really is painfully alone.
A nice bit of aggression from Konzi. If he makes it work, then it gives them a lifeline back into this one, but it just doesn't at all. Snappy headshot from ZNX. That's going to open things up quite nicely. And now Gizmi has to do all the work on the A-bomb site. But as soon as he finds a kill, CeX just going to backtrack. They don't want anything to do with it. They know that he's really the danger man here, and instead they're just going to rotate right back, head over towards B.
Absolutely, Gizmi now just going to have to save this up. His team have no money whatsoever, and that should deliver CeX to a 15th. With this being their 14th, follow-up Eco giving them 15. Then for Hypnotic, it'll end up being do or die.
It absolutely will be. Gizmi, not quite connecting, is going to have to fall right away. This AWP in hand. Just wants to hold on to it. That's all he's hoping for right now. Swapping to the USP though, up close and personal. Knows impact's low. He's just desperate to stay alive. If he drops this up, they can't afford another one. And there we go. It's ZNX to finish him off. CeX onto 14. I don't see any way back in for Hypnotic right now. I think this might be over. They have to eat the eco here. This is going to be 15 for CeX. Hypnotic will need 6 consecutive rounds to take this one to OT. And by the looks of things, they're actually heavily investing into the 24th. So Exley, he'll have no money going forward into round number 25. Bizarre purchase.
Absolutely. Yeah, and this could be their damnation. For now, there's going to be another aggressive push up short, and this just does not work. We see Exley fall yet again on mid. Dexter, he's done a really good job at just dismantling any aggression towards doors, and with iFan shutting down Wolfie, that leaves Hypnotic guessing yet again as to where CeX might end up, and unfortunately this force buy may have been a very, very poor decision.
Absolutely, yeah, as I say, it's a bizarre one. They could have had loads of money going, well, not loads of money, but enough money going into the next that there's a full investment. Instead, Exley's going to be down to pretty much nothing in the 25th. And yeah, that could just be game over. CeX, they're so close to finishing this one off. And this has just been a fantastic performance. And we see, you look at this scoreboard, and again, I never want to name and shame. These Hypnotic guys have really been putting up a fantastic fight today. But Konzi is such an integral player. And when he shows up, Hypnotic pull off some really, really awesome Counter-Strike. And when he has a bit of an off game and isn't having much of an impact, it just seems like Hypnotic kind of go to sleep a little bit. We saw it earlier on. Konzi at halftime with 2 kills. Hypnotic was struggling. As soon as he bounced back and had a stellar performance on that CT side, that's where they pulled it right back and won the match. Last map, Konzi had a massive performance. They won it. This time, quite the opposite.
Absolutely. For now, it's going to be Konzi just trying to save this AK, trying to do damage wherever possible. And he's just going to hide in CT. As he might be able to get away in time. Unfortunately, iFan will shut him down. And just like that, that'll bring CeX to a 15th. 15 to 9, the scoreline. Let's see how they fare.
There's a pause. TeamSpeak died. TS
I feel like
dead.
TS issues is like the code for someone wants to go to the toilet or something.
Well,
I feel
yeah,
like
I mean,
it is.
at this kind of level.
There's no way TeamSpeak stats that are reliable, because in every game and every tournament, there's a TeamSpeak issue.
Yeah, in something like this, I don't think the rules are too strict, but you are right to pick up on it, right? Because every tournament I do, all of the teams say, oh, TeamSpeak issue, yeah? And it's just undisputable. The tournament organizer can't say, oh, you don't have a TeamSpeak issue, you need to just play. So they have to take the pause, but yeah, it just means that teams can take technical pauses to go for a piss or something. It's it's a common known fact.
Yep. In amongst production teams. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, this could be the beginning of the end here for Hypnotic. Konzi's gone for the auto sniper. I love to see it. Not a weapon you see all too often. But if it doesn't work out, CeX should be able to put themselves onto 16, and they've taken this opening man advantage.
Once again, push ready to come on out, and fortunately with Konzi on such a low amount of HP, he's actually gone for an auto sniper, which is, I feel like Hypnotic is showing the telltale signs of tilt. As for now, Nade's gone out. They start to look to push up towards short. Walking into that orb of Gizmy. Let's see how it fares. As the flash goes out, swing goes wide. Gizmy at the ready, and Hoy is just going to surgically remove his anatomy. He'll take down his head. Well, starting with the head, my apologies. Wolfie now holding on towards the safe site, having to refute any attack from CEX, and for the most part, I think he's just going to have to go a bit aggressive. Break and find something to at least attempt to equalize the man count. Fortunately, that does not come. CEX, they reaffirm their position on short. They prepare for what could potentially be a final assault.
Absolutely, yeah. 5 versus 3. They need to hold this line. Konzi is so low on health. And as Hoy runs out, should be able to take out Wolfie. He's got that high ground. He's got the advantage. Spams away, though. Wolfie finds himself the first damage onto the second as Earl follows up. And all of a sudden, it becomes a 3-on-1. And Konzi, oh no, the bomb's peeked out. He's actually got a sightline onto it with this auto sniper. Oh, not anymore.
That's heartbreaking.
He actually threw the bomb up onto the site as well. That was because there was only seconds to spare. That was smart. I like that.
Still heartbreaking though.
Yeah.
Still heartbreaking. Konzi, he has to push up from short. 17 HP left. I think it's safe to assume he's lost at this point. He'll switch to the orb in some futile attempt to give him an advantage. He'll get towards center site. Maybe there's hope. Maybe there isn't. Instead, tap that bomb once. Won't even be given the luxury of that. As next finishes the job. And CEX equalise the series 1-1.
Absolutely. My prediction, it's right on track. Let's see if Hypnotic can bounce back in this third and final map of the day and, well, take this series by the neck and actually cause the upset that I think a lot of people are hoping for. We'll have to wait and see. We're going for a really short break. We'll be right back with you with map number 3. Don't go anywhere, folks.